Mic. Camera. Action.
Would you say that your work in La La Land really helped pave the way for white people to explain jazz to black people? All right, let me get that out. Sorry, you guys. We'll be right back with Who Gives a Shit. I mean, did you read something last night and were so eager to come tell a bunch of young people about what you read?
Yes, I did. I did do a lot of reading.
When you and Woody Harrelson are acting in a scene together, are you sad that somewhere there's a sack not being hacked?
That's good. A sack not being hacked.
What was the marijuana budget on True Detective? And have you smoked a lot of that budget today?
Oh, shit.
Don Draper's suit hangs in the Smithsonian Museum.
Yes, it does.
It's an honor.
Yeah.
Right next to the Cosby sweater? Okay.
No.
All right. Welcome back to the Filmography, the show dedicated to watching every credited Fern from an actor's complete back catalogue from past debut through to present day in chronological order. Each episode, I'm joined by an esteemed guest to watch and discuss the next entry from the focused Filmography and consider how it ranks amidst their career and whether we can trace any typecasting trends or topic traits or theatrical tics. Today, I'm joined by Matt Hugh Todger to discuss McConaughay's appearance in Scott Auckerman and Zach Galifianakis' Between Two Ferns, the movie from 2019. We watch, you listen, and hopefully watch along too. Evening, mate.
Wow.
If there was ever a chance for me to have a bit of fun with the intro, it felt like this was the one.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the premise of Between Two Ferns is kind of him being a dick. So
True.
Is it kind of, do we have to be dicks to each other for this? However long this takes.
Considering we met when I was 18, you were 19.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't uncommon for us back then to have bonded in that way, as we know many young people do. So we just have to tap back into that.
Let's see if I've still got that in me.
Yeah, for sure. Or just be the grumpy old men that we actually are.
But do you remember your first exposure to Between Two Ferns?
I don't. I remember it becoming a thing, and I remember Funny or Die suddenly becoming a thing, mostly through that Will Ferrell angry kid one.
And that was my entry to Funny or Die. It was what's it called, Pearl or something.
That's right. Yeah,
The Landlord. It was called The Landlord, wasn't it?
That's right.
I think wasn't it his real life daughter?
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was his real life daughter. Or it was. Did you say Scott Auckerman?
Yeah.
Is he to do with Funny or Die as well? Is he?
Yeah, I think so. And he does like the wolf. He does like How Did This Get Made? He's the Earwolf. He's behind that kind as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
but
yeah.
Okay. I knew it was something like that, but I remember because was that when I was at university? But I remember that was that's kind of what exploded it, wasn't that? Made it explode, wasn't it? Funny or Die.
It feels like maybe mid-2000s, maybe a little bit after we finished, I reckon. That was the sort of explosion. I've just been listening to Once We Were Spacemen podcast, which is Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk as well from Firefly. And they've just had Felicia Day on. So like her talking about the Guild and again, the explosion of that. It all feels kind of around that same time, doesn't it? That kind of mid-2000s where suddenly these things, the internet's being used for new stuff that we'd never seen before. Ricky Gervais doing his podcast and all these things sort of came up around the same time in my memory anyway.
Yeah, me too. It's amazing. Before we just come on as well, we were talking about YouTube, like the evolution of all of this, like Funny or Die, then turning into feature-length films, and now we were just talking about Obsession and Backrooms films, both made by YouTubers, and how One of them is number one at the box office now, biggest ever opening for A24, and the other one has, I believe it's the first time since E.T. in 1982 that a film for the 3 consecutive weeks since it's opened has grossed more each week.
Oh wow, okay.
And these are both from like internet kids, so
yeah, keep pushing those boundaries and making new things happen. Absolutely, it's interesting, isn't it? And I think, no, I don't remember the first Between Two Ferns that I saw. And actually, when you look, depending on where you look, the order is really different, isn't it? So they're all available on YouTube now, but the order they're on the Funny or Die channel is not the order which Wikipedia lists them as being the order they were aired in and stuff. I guess it doesn't really matter because there's no specific through line through the original skits, is there? They're just kind of haphazard, and I'm not really sure how he ever decided who was going to interview and how he was going to interview them and how they came about, to be honest.
It's random because I guess it was the power of like The Hangover. I don't know. I haven't looked at the timeline as to how soon this was after the first Hangover movie, but clearly he got so big so quick that he was able to call in these people to cameo on this show, which, I mean, it is a very strange idea. In that I seem to I remember a few of the big ones, but I always I remember the outtakes more. When watching this film and revisiting bits on YouTube, I was like, oh, okay, it's a bit more staged than I remembered it, because I remember loving the outtakes, and we'll get onto that. But I found this felt a little bit more sketch show than the freeform ad lib style that I thought it had been in my head.
Yeah, I agree. And actually, it's interesting you talking about that, because when you look at the inspirations they talk about as being Spinal Tap, Borat, Popstar Never Stop Popping for this movie version, that makes sense, but also really dangerous things to reference, because Spinal Tap obviously changed the format of mockumentaries and actually it kind of changed musical biopics forever. You can't really watch one straight-faced anymore. Borat was a massive sensation, wasn't it? And that's Sacha Baron Cohen at the height of his powers. And Popstar Never Stop Popping is such an underrated movie. It is so clever. The songs in that are absolutely genius. So I think dangerous things to kind of reference, but I see what they're talking about, that sense of mixing the kind of improvisational and quote unquote real alongside kind of spoofy sketch written moments, isn't it? Yeah.
See, I'm not a fan of Popstar Never Stop Stopping.
Oh, really?
I've given it a try a couple of times and it doesn't chime with me. And that I think that kind of buys into like the evolution of films like this, because you mentioned SNL films there as well, didn't you? Was one of them SNL you mentioned?
Spinal Tap and Borat.
So Spinal Tap, did that start as SNL sketches then?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I've always found that those SNL sketch shows, when translated to feature, don't work. Because the ones that I noted in here was MacGruber.
Yeah, okay. I've never seen MacGruber, actually.
I was never really exposed to it as an SNL sketch, and I was looking forward to it when it came out, and I went to the screening, and you could tell it was a very similar to a lot of the criticisms for Between Two Ferns movie, is that it's one joke stretched out to runtime, and MacGruber didn't work. And going back to Borat, because Borat's a perfect example, because that was little sections in the Ali G show.
Yeah.
But then when you look at the Ali G show, which is another comparison I drew with this, because that the format of that was excellent. And then when that got stretched into Ali G and The House, I think that is an awful movie.
Agreed, yeah.
Which completely loses the charm of what he was doing in the TV show. Because I haven't seen it in a long time, but the whole of Ali G and The House, that is all just a narrative, isn't it? There's nothing. Yeah, all scripted,
Yeah.
So I was trying to think of other ones where there'd been sketch comedy that had translated to feature length. So Borat, but the main one I could think, drawing the SNL comparison, was Wayne's World.
Yeah, Wayne's World does come to mind, doesn't it?
Because that's brilliant, and I knew nothing of Wayne's World before it came out in the cinema over here, and that works because that has got a great story. first and foremost, hasn't it? And it
Definitely.
And it probably, because that was SNL as well, wasn't it?
That was definitely SNL, yeah.
Yeah, so, but that brilliantly weaves like a narrative with the sketch show format that made it famous. So, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how much of it is, because I agree with you, I wonder how much of it is like how entrenched you are in that world. Like, same as you, I'd watched probably most of the Between Two Ferns, certainly not all of them, because I did go and watch all of them in order to prepare to watch the film, in order for us to talk about it. There were loads I hadn't seen. And to be honest, I didn't get much added value by watching all of them. Like the ones I had seen were probably the ones that everyone was talking about, so were the best ones. But, you know, same as you, Wayne's World was just a film to me when I saw it in my
Me too.
My tweens, as we would have been then. But I wonder if I'd known them as characters on NSL, as sketch characters, whether that would have added or taken away. I don't know. Obviously, we'll never know. Because Borat, I definitely had known, as you said, from Ali G. And he'd learned a lesson there, hadn't he? He'd learned that when he came to make that Borat movie, not to do what he'd done with Ali G and just try and keep it kind of true to where the core of the character and the core of the laughs and the satirical humour comes from.
Yeah, definitely.
Whenever this moves away from the interviews, and we'll get into kind of, in case people don't know what Between Two Ferns is, we'll do a quick outline in a minute. But whenever this does get away from the interviews, I feel like it really lulls the movie version.
Definitely. I think they tried to give it a Wayne's World type thing, because I haven't seen Wayne's World in such a long time, but there is like a little bit of a road movie element. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of, aren't they raising cash or...
Wayne's World, they're raising cash for Wayne stock, aren't they?
Wayne stock, that's the second one. Okay.
The first one is they're being commercialised from
is it public access
TV, which this is, to actual commercial TV, aren't they? Yeah.
There you go. So it kind of tries to do that similar thing.
Yeah.
And I guess it's the only way they could do this film, because you couldn't just release an hour and a half of Between Two Ferns interviews, could you? Because
no.
With all comedy, there's only so much you can laugh for. You need a breather. So I always say, if you go and watch like a stand-up evening, the third comedian has got to be brilliant, because regardless of how brilliant he is, you're kind of laughed out by two comedians. So they've got to be excellent to get that far. So I think it's a strange folly, this film. Like, I don't know why it was given the go-ahead. It didn't get a theatrical release. It was Netflix.
Yeah, there's no like box office, there's no budget information for this anywhere. Yeah.
I think it was just that time when Netflix, I mean, they always are, but they just wanted more content, so they threw money at the idea, I guess. And I remember, I think I really liked it when I first saw it, but I think that was just because it was fresh interview interludes, and because at that time I'd probably really enjoyed watching Between Two Ferns on YouTube, because the interviews I remember, the Barack Obama one, the Hillary Clinton one, they're like the big ones that stand out to me. But by then, I felt people were in on the act too much.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah,
and it's a bit like what happened with Ali G, why he kind of had to finish that character, or maybe it's why he couldn't do that for the movie, because by then everyone knew who Ali G was. So it's not as funny if you're in on the joke, and everyone trying to be funny with Zach Galifianakis doesn't really work.
No, it's true. So should we go backwards a little bit?
To the premise,
No. So Between Two Ferns, for those that don't know, was, so I just looked up, 2008 was the first interview, and it was with Michael Cera. And it was, I guess, retrofitted in this movie to say it's a public access TV show where he was given the chance to interview people, because his dream was always to go on and being like a David Letterman talk show host, right? So this was his chance where he was going to start. As you said, they kind of referenced the fact that he's got this off the back of The Hangover once Bradley Cooper comes in. I think it's about episode 5. Episode 5. That's one I particularly like, actually, from the first set of episodes, because of Cooper's like earnestness and how he does his fake version of himself in that interview. But it's literally as it sounds. It's a black background. It's just a big sheet, isn't it? 2 chairs, 2 ferns, and then Galifianakis just is openly antagonistic and rude and asks like inappropriate questions and tries to make them as uncomfortable as possible. And they don't know what he's going to ask before he asks it. And they're supposed to riff and improvise and joke along as best they can, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, how much they're prepped, I'm not sure, because there's when you do get to the blooper reel, which is by far the best part of this movie.
True, yeah.
because this, I mean, even from when I was a kid, like for me, do you remember Smokey and the Bandit? Do you ever watch Smokey and the Bandit?
I do, yeah, but I've not watched it for a long time.
Well, that was the first time I ever saw a blooper reel, and it was brilliant. And do you remember when Pixar used to do their fake bloopers?
Yeah.
Some of the best things about those Pixar movies, which were incredible anyway, were the blooper reels. Other films that used to do them were American Pie. I think they used to do them.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Jackie Chan movies obviously do them.
Jackie Chan,
stuff going wrong.
The Rush Hour films.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah,
though their bloopers were excellent. So I love a blooper.
Filmography.
Filmography.
I still remember that from Rush Hour 2. Yeah,
so good. Looking forward to Rush Hour 4.
Why not?
Well, why not? Because Brett Ratner's directing it, but that's another story.
Okay.
But yeah, the blooper reel on this is terrific because it's kind of, I don't know, it drops that facade of it being performative.
Yeah,
for everyone.
It's the absolute highlight of this movie, and by this point, people would have heard it in the intro. So I've already planned on using some of those clips in the intro because I think it is the absolute best part of the film, and it is. I think you're right because again, looking at the list of episodes, it's already by about episode 6, maybe, but certainly by episode 9. So episode 6 is Charlize Theron, and episode 9 is Steve Carell. So by this point in the series of Between Two Ferns, and this is 2 years, so they're really sporadic, aren't they? So it's January 2008, April 2008, December 2008. So you only get 3 in a year, and then from that point, really, after that, it starts becoming a little bit like people in the joke because Natalie Portman's next, and hers is one where she's definitely on it because she's just been on an SNL and done that rap with the Lonely Island crew. So it's like her tapping into this new sense of who she is. And
what rap was that? The Phantom Menace rap?
She does that one, doesn't she? And she does the one where it's I can't remember what it's called anymore, but she's bleeped out swearing all the way through it as well. She did a couple, didn't she?
So did this end it? Was this kind of punctuation to the entire? Okay.
I think that was the idea, wasn't it? So the last Between Two Ferns episode was technically in 2016, which is the Hillary Clinton one you were talking about, and then he came back for a one-off special in 2018 with Jerry Seinfeld and Cardi B, which was awful. That feels. Do you know what I mean? Just straight away having Cardi B, that feels like that's a real trying to capture a different audience and just trying to be relevant, doesn't it?
Even like the Clinton thing, I can't remember when that would have happened, and the Obama thing. It's kind of like you're now a platform for somebody else, whereas you were just part of a web series. Because
the Obama one was Obamacare, and there's literally they talk about it seriously within the interview, and the Clinton one is when she's running for president, and the best bit about that is when he does. Now it's time for our sponsor, and it's been speed stick and all those stupid things they've had throughout the show, and he runs a Trump
does he?
message. Her reaction is hilarious. So there are little moments like that are really good, and a couple of the jokes in the episodes really, really land. Like I said, I really like the Bradley Cooper one. I really like the Will Ferrell one, which makes sense why he comes back for the movie. I don't know if there's any of the episodes that particularly or jokes that stand out for you from the.
But do you know what? The thing is, I didn't go back, and I basically just watched the movie. And if anything, that kind of would tell you how I felt about the movie. It didn't trigger me to want to go. It made me go back and watch outtakes, but it didn't make me go back and want to watch any of the original web series. Unfortunately,
fair enough.
Will Ferrell, because Will Ferrell in this as well. I love Will Ferrell. Just put that out there. I don't think he can do any wrong apart from Sherlock Holmes or Holmes and Watson. That's what it was called. In this, he's just playing his Barbie character, isn't it? Isn't it the Barbie character before he did Barbie?
Or the Lego movie, he's playing president.
Lego movie, yeah.
He is, and it's very broad, and he's wearing a bolo tie, isn't he? And it's shouty Will Ferrell, but still, because when it's him on screen, it still just elevates things a little bit, doesn't it? He's playing the kind of the president of Bunny or Die, essentially, isn't he? Who is charged, as she said, let's get into the plot of the film. So he charges Zach Galifianakis to go out and capture a dozen interviews. I think it was 20 interviews.
He has to do 10 interviews in order to get his own network show, and that's because in the opening scene, it might be worth starting with the opening scene because it's intrinsically linked with this podcast because it features Matthew McConaughey, and we'll get into that bit. But to cut a long story short, a kind of tragedy happens, which causes the studio to collapse, where he films Between Two Ferns. In there, Will Ferrell charges him to go on what was essentially a road trip to record 10 other interviews to deliver to him in time, so that he's given his own network TV show, like David Letterman.
Yeah,
who's also featured in the show. So yeah, it kicks off with McConaughey, doesn't it?
it does. And the plot, like you said, it kind of makes sense. You have a ticking clock, you have kind of a forward momentum. I really like Lauren Lapkus, or whatever her name is, that plays Carol. She's excellent.
She's written down as my MVP of the movie.
Definitely.
But I couldn't remember what else I'd seen her in. I know she stole Jurassic World.
Yeah, she's one of the IT guys, isn't she? With
Jake Johnson.
Yeah.
And he's constantly, like, throughout the film being like crushing on her, I want to ask you out. And then I love that there's like a really dismissive line at the end, isn't there, where she cut all that whole like will they won't they throughout the whole film is just dismissed. That film's got a lot of faults, but that isn't one of them. I really like that.
Yeah, I can't. She's one of those. She got that face like, oh, I recognise her, and she was good in that, but I can't think what it. Yeah, I immediately recognise her from Jurassic World, but she's really good at it. She is a bit like in like Borat 2, which wasn't very good, but the actress that was introduced as his daughter, like she was
the Oscar-nominated lady. Is it what's her name?
Yeah,
I can't remember. I remember her name. It's Monica something or other, isn't it?
But she's excellent. So like there are highlights amongst kind of the sort of stodgy averageness, isn't there, of those scripted scenes. She's really good, and actually the character of Carol was really interesting because she's amazing at her job. Like out of nowhere, just finds all these celebrities and gets interviews for them, and like just sorts everything out. So as a character, she's really interesting, but the actress really helps to bring her to life as well, I think.
I did think the cameraman guy was quite good as well, in that straight-faced kind of
like deadpan way. Yeah,
it felt very much like a character that would be in Step Brothers or something like that. I thought the little troupe kind of worked with them three. Oh, and there was the other lady, I can't remember. She didn't make much of an impression, like the fourth part of the team. But yeah, then the whole thing is just them then doing a road trip and intermittently stopping to interview people that she's unbelievably organised at an interview with. We've got this really rude guy who wants to sit you between two fans and abuse you for a couple of minutes. Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah. I don't know whether we're supposed to buy in the concept of the movie that people don't know who he is. I guess we're supposed to kind of forget about the idea that we've seen all this on YouTube, because it's meant to be that. But then why would they public access TV? You are a good point.
But then why would the celebs do it? And it's weird because like the Zach Galifianakis character, he is quite unlikable off camera. He's a little bit like the worst parts of Alan from The Hangover. If anything, Alan feels a bit nicer than Zach's character in Between Two Ferns, which I thought was a bit of a weird choice to make, because we're meant to be rooting for this little guy, I guess, to succeed, but it's never kind of explained why he is the way he is. Mm-hmm. He's just a bit of an idiot, just a bit rude.
Yeah, he's just bitter, isn't he? He's like really bitter about everything, about the sense that he hasn't got what he wanted and that he deserves it. But he is playing like himself, because like we said before, like Hangover is referenced, like the Bradley Cooper relationship with him is referenced in the original show. He does seem to be Zach Galifianakis, the actor, who is also Zach Galifianakis, this presenter of this show. So the lines are blurred and crossed, and it is a little bit difficult to understand. So I guess they would maybe do the interview because of who he is, because he's got a film career. But what they think they'd be promoting and why it'd be good for their career, I don't know.
Yeah, because going back to McConaughey, then when is this in the timeline? Because the interview references Dallas Buyers Club, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
It does, yeah. And it also starts brilliantly with the title of with the introduction to your podcast, where he does all right, and then he goes, sorry, I was just reading the box office returns from your last three movies. I thought of the jokes in the film, that's one of the best ones, and it was good that it was McConaughey. So
it lands well, doesn't it? It's a good strong opening, and I love all and why I did it at the start of the episode. I love all the titles that come up with all the names that have been changed, and they're so good. And because this one is Matthew McConaughey, Dazed and Confused, also an actor, It's just so good.
They are the best bits. You're right. Look, all of them slip from my mind at the minute, but they were the smartest bits. I thought.
Yeah,
they're so funny.
I've written them all down, so as we get to each person, we can look at them and see and rate them. Yeah,
good, because like the joke ratio in this, it wasn't as high as I remembered it to be. I mean, my favourite jokes were that one, the all right one. I also love. Now we'll get to Chrissy Teigen, but her joke about her saying her success is essentially down to the plot of the movie The Box. Richard Kelly's The Box. I love bits like that because I was like, that's so random. And it's like, that film didn't do very well. Nobody's really going to know it. But I love little bits like that as well.
Yeah.
So amongst the broad stuff from like Will Ferrell calling him fat and stupid repeatedly.
Yeah.
There are some nuggets, some good nuggets in there.
It's true. I think it starts strong. I think McConaughey's section is a strong place to open the movie. So I'm glad that clearly it was always the plan for whoever it was going to be at this part of the movie because of what happens, and we'll talk about that now. But I'm glad it was McConaughey because we're doing this podcast, obviously. But also, I think he toes the line fairly well of that being in on the joke, but not going too strong on the like, you're fat. Like so many of these end up being like, you're fat and you're an idiot. From the actor who's
from the
celeb. So this doesn't quite go there. He's just a bit kind of standoffish and a bit annoyed, isn't he, about the things that are being said.
But he also, like you said, he brilliantly walks the line between being having his back up about it, but also kind of laughing about it. McConaughey always comes across as self-deprecating, and that comes across really well. And even in the outtakes.
Yeah,
well.
Absolutely.
McConaughey outtakes, you can tell he's absolutely loving it.
Yeah. What's it he says to him? Oh, when you and Woody are acting together, are you sad that there's a sack somewhere not being hackeyed?
And he creases it.
It just goes completely straight away. It's such a good line, isn't it? Everyone would have heard that already in the intro, like I said. But this opening introduces the idea of there being a plot, doesn't it? Because you have the drip from the bucket.
Yes.
I'm sorry if that's distracting. And McConaughey's like, no, it's okay, but it is a bit weird, isn't it? And that's where we end up having this big.
Does that cut then? To later,
so the pipe breaks, isn't it? And the room starts getting flooded.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it's when it's kind of at the knee height. And then my head was going, okay, McConaughey's wet again. It's like I'm going to have to make a list of kind of wet McConaughey movies because there's so many. And then it kind of cuts, doesn't it, to 2 weeks before. Because then McConaughey's gone in and out of the movie in about 3 minutes. But he's made a decent impact in the time that he's in it, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I also love the, going back to the jokes, I love the one about the weed budget for True Detective.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's in the outtakes as well, isn't it, I think?
Yeah. Oh, isn't that not in the legitimate interview? That's the thing. I think all the funny things have actually happened in the film. The McConaughey thing is integral to the entire plot, isn't it? It's kind of what is the catalyst for the road trip. So yeah, it's nice that he's the one that got to do that, and then from there, have you got the order written down of when the next celebrities?
I have, yeah. So he goes out of it, and he comes back about 20 minutes later. Should we just wrap up on McConaughey, really? Because then we get a few other interviews and a few other moments, and it's more kind of behind the scenes stuff. We get a few actors coming in and out who aren't in the interview setting, but are behind the scenes in the studios if they're there waiting to have their interviews. A few of them from Parks and Rec and some interesting people. But then about 20 minutes later, we come back to this moment and we see that the room's completely filled up with water, and Zach's banging on the glass trying to get through that classic kind of studio, that recording studio setup where you've got the glass separating the two. McConaughey's just bobbing around in the background, like he's drowned in the background, and he technically dies in this movie. So they actually do kill off Matthew McConaughey in this movie.
But he doesn't die though, does he? Because Will Ferrell says that he's come back, but he's like, you technically killed him. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets resuscitated, doesn't he? So thankfully he survives to go on and make Sing 2 next.
Boo.
Yeah. But yes, then we start getting the kind of roll call of other people, don't we? Starting off with Keanu Reeves.
Very good.
Which, a simple one, but actually when you start thinking about the layers of kind of Point Break and surfing and it being kind of the dumb way of saying Reeves. I think suddenly that you start thinking, actually, even the ones which seem simple will have some layers to them. They're quite clever. And his whole interview is mostly about Zach having a go at him being dumb.
Yeah.
And he takes it pretty well. I think he's in full like John Wick fashion mode, isn't he?
He does look very John Wicky. Yeah. But that's the start for me. See, I think with the interviews, I think a lot of the time Galifianakis goes for the easy dig.
Okay. Yeah.
Like because the McConaughey stuff's very good. Like the hacky being sacked and all that. That's very smart. It's good wordplay. But then when you go on to Reeves and you just accuse him of being a dumb actor, I'm kind of like, people have been doing that for so long. It's like, find something new. And we'll get on to like the worst case of it later on. So yeah, the Reeves stuff's okay. I found it had minimal impact for me. I didn't find that very funny, but
I'm always happy to see him, but he's not quite the right person for this because he doesn't quite have that. He's a stoic, silent leading man, and again, that's mentioned, isn't it? About like how many words do you know, isn't it? And it's like 50, 70, 20. Like how many words do you actually have? Like again, that's all right. That's quite good. I quite like that, but
he's too nice sometimes when it's
that is it.
Mean. I think if you get someone in who is either not a very nice person or that they can fight back, I'm kind of like, okay, that's fine. You can go in for that. But Reeves seems really nice, and that seems a bit like below the line YouTube comment to be calling him stupid, because clearly he isn't a stupid guy. I know he's Bill or Ted, whichever one it is. Sorry for getting it wrong. But he's much more than that. He's a smart guy.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have the longevity of career and make the movies he's made and have as many like franchises. And I was, I'd love to do a thing one day which is about his impact on the action movie genre, because the impact he just as an individual has made has been massive across like 4 decades now. But that's a podcast for a different day. So yeah, he sort of comes and goes, doesn't he? It's fine.
They all
the
do,
next one,
they?
I didn't know who this was because he's introduced as Chintz the Rapping.
And Chance the Rapper.
I was like, is that his actual name? So I had to pause the movie and Google it. I was like, I know, but I obviously didn't know him at the time, and I definitely don't know him now. So
I like my rap music.
You do.
I don't really know who Chance the Rapper is. I was aware of him. I know who he is. I couldn't tell you any of his tunes.
Fine. Okay.
So that was another one that passed me by.
And the biggest joke there was something about like, oh, so you're friends with Kanye West? And he's like, yeah. Is there a joke in here somewhere? And Zach's like, well, that is the joke. That's sort of the big moment of that interview, really, isn't it?
Might have been good at the time because, Kanye West, crackpot, he might have done something silly at that time that meant the fact that he's his friend. That is the joke. I guess that kind of works. When did this come out, by the way? What we dated?
2019.
2019, okay. Yeah. Right, okay.
I don't know enough about Kanye to know what was going on with him at that point.
Well, he said some, without getting into it, he recently got banned from travelling to the UK to perform at festivals. So historically, I think he's said some things that are pretty awful. And even back then he was doing stuff. But so that might have been where that joke lied. And if that is the case, then fair play. That one's layered with a little bit more darkness, but that is the only joke, isn't it? And then they quickly move on. But then, like you said, this section is very properly short, isn't it?
Yeah, this is rat-a-tat. Let's get, because we haven't got back round to McConaughey by this point. So it's rat-a-tat now. It's like that we see Rashida Jones, Adam Scott, John Cho, Jason Schwartzman, but none of them are interviewed. They're all just like
pottering around the studio.
Yeah, absolutely. And none of it really lands. It's all pretty weak, I think, most of this section, which is a shame.
Doesn't John Cho just come in walking behind other characters?
He's flirting with the fourth member that becomes the fourth member of the crew, because she has this aside of like, the best thing about this job is turning celebrities down, and he's flirting with her, and she's like, no thanks, it's not going to happen. So none of this I don't think really lands particularly. Like Adam Scott is like, oh, I'm here from Parks and Rec, and he's like, oh great, I'm so bored of interviewing these boring celebrities, and he's like, no, I'm in a show called Parks and Rec. So again, it's fine, but it's all just a bit, I think the way you described before is obvious is right for this section.
Even when that joke was made and Parks and Rec was out, I don't know how massive Parks and Rec was either.
No, very, like successfully critically, wasn't it? But I'm not sure commercially if it was ever that successful.
No. So I wonder whether that kind of would have landed a little bit at the time as well, because it's like nobody does know who you are because you've not been in. He won't have been in Step Brothers yet, or will he? Yeah, he must have.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
of course
that's before Parks and Rec, wasn't it? But it was a big COVID show, wasn't it? Parks and Rec.
Yes.
I think a lot of
people caught up with it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's so happy and it's family and it's community and it's people being lovely to each other, isn't it? So it makes sense. It became a big.
It was real positive, wasn't it? Yeah.
Everyone sat feeling lonely.
So this was made in 29. When was it released though? Because I'm pretty sure I watched it in COVID.
2019, sorry, it came out 2019.
It's definitely 2019. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Maybe I just watched it in COVID and that was it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so all those lot get rattled off. Clearly just people that were in the studio when they're filming it on the day, and he collared them, I guess.
Yeah, because then the next big interview is Brie Larson, or Brie Lars' son.
Good, very good.
Which is pretty decent.
And
again, go on. You talk about hers.
Well, Brie Larson was a very interesting one because she has a bad reputation, doesn't she?
For some reason, I'm not sure.
I think unfounded, because I love Brie Larson. Yeah. I've loved her since she was Cloakroom Girl in Community, and I love her in Room. And I think it was all from her bad rep comes from a few Avengers interviews, doesn't it?
Okay.
Where stuff was said and she got screwed up her face in response to some of the stuff that I think Hemsworth and somebody else had said.
Right.
And
so, of course, that community took against it. And
and that snowballs and then she gets a reputation and whatnot. So I wonder whether that, because in this interview, she plays it uptight as well, doesn't she?
She does, yeah. She doesn't really say very much.
No.
It looks a lot of the time like she's just trying to stifle herself from laughing.
Yeah, because what he says is funny.
Yeah, so this is all the kind of criticism. Mostly it's kind of superhero stuff, isn't it? Of like Captain Marvel, or they've just stopped making any effort anymore with the names, haven't they? And it's because she's just, this is that moment, isn't it? It's Captain Marvel and then Avengers Endgame. So it's all pretty, this is okay. But I don't think, again, I think as for an early guess, she doesn't quite have the right rat-a-tat in order to get the momentum going yet, I don't think. I agree with you. I don't think criticism of her is founded. I think she always comes across as a perfectly nice person, and I think she's a very good actress. But I don't know if she's somebody that would pull people in and win them over.
True. I don't know. I don't know whether comedy's her thing. Obviously, I referenced Community, but that was a very different character. I mean, her best performances are like Room and have you seen Short Term 12?
I haven't actually seen that, no.
Terrific. No. It's like a drug rehab from recollection movie, which is amazing. So I don't know whether like that kind of comedy sparring is her forte. But then once again, jumping forward to the outtakes, her reaction to the outtakes in this is thoroughly charming.
Yeah.
Like she's another one that, like McConaughey, corpses at what he asked. I think he asked a very inappropriate question about her first period.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been said that you don't like. There's two things you don't like. I can't remember what the first one is, and the second one is answering like personal questions. And then it's like this. And when did you have your first period?
Yeah.
She just immediately cracks and goes straight away.
Yeah, really funny. Really funny. But I thought she was okay. But none of it feels to me like these things were just shot as quickly as possible. Nothing was very organic. And it was just like, okay, we've got something. We'll just move on.
I think that's true. It's just an order thing. I mean, you can put these wherever you want, because so much of this is other than McConaughey, which obviously has to be at the start, and Peter Dinklage, which has to be at the point that he comes in towards the end because of how they decide to direct the plot. Everyone else can kind of go wherever they want them to go. So I don't know. I think again, nothing against Brie Larson. I'm not sure she was the right one at this early stage when Keanu's not really landed, and Chance the Rapper, like who. And then these kind of really quick, brief snippets. I don't know. I just think you needed something big early to really convince people that it's worth the next hour of their time. And it's about to come.
What? Who's the big one? Who's the big one for you then? Aside from McConaughey,
I think Rudd is the best in this.
Oh, yeah.
And he's about to come. But Rudd is often the best in most things he's in.
Exactly, because he's good at this thing. He's good at this easy ad-lib comedy, I feel, because like I was once you watch some bloopers on YouTube, your algorithm is then throwing bloopers at you. So I got a lot of the I Love You Man bloopers.
Right, yeah, okay.
Brilliant. And what's the other one he did where it's the role-playing thing with the
role models.
Role models.
With Sean William Scott. Yeah.
Once again, great bloopers as well. So for him, this is,
Yeah, this is bread and butter, isn't it? Because just before we get David Letterman, and that's pretty good. David Letterman's Men. It's all about his beard and Meth Santa. And
Meth Santa's brilliant.
Good jokes in there, isn't there? And makes sense because it's about him wanting to become somebody who's doing the kind of talk show that Letterman did for years. Yeah. And then it's Paul Rudd next, which is Paul Rudd with 1D, or Ant Man, which is fantastic.
So good.
And most of it is about him being a bad actor.
Yeah.
Which is going to come back around with John Hamm as well. Again, he's another guy who I think is very good in this and very good at dealing with these kind of situations. Yeah. But Rudd has the absolute killer line, which I don't know if you can remember, and I'm happy for you to recite it if you can. But he has the best line in the whole movie. I think.
You tell me what it is, because I'll be getting confused with the outtakes. But go on.
So I think it's in both. So Zach asked him about like why he spent his career hiding being Jewish.
Yeah.
And he says, there's a bit of repartee about that, and then Rudd says, I'm not a practicing Jew. And there's a lovely pause, just so well timed. Yeah, I perfected it. And he just knows. He just, as he said it, you can see the glint in his eye and the corner of his mouth. He just knows how good this line is going to be as he drops it. It's brilliant. Yeah.
The outtakes of that is great as well, because I think they've got one of Galifianakis or asking him about hiding his Jewishness. Is that right?
Yeah.
So, and they both crease at that. And
yeah, they do. Yeah.
So for me, that kind of reflects how those two work.
Mm-hmm.
That they gave it another go because they knew it was good. They were like, let's have another run at doing this properly because we know it's funny. We know Rudd can do that. If Anchorman 2 had two versions of the film. Feature length, completely different jokes, because we know that he can operate in that environment. And have Galifianakis and Rudd starred alongside each other before? I didn't know whether their paths have crossed.
Yeah, maybe not, actually. I don't think so. Eh?
Because Galifianakis hasn't really gone on to have the mainstream career I maybe expected him to after The Hangover.
Yeah.
Because I remember he did that terrific show with Jason Schwartzman, who we mentioned. Is it Jason Schwartzman, the detective one? Oh, I can't remember what it was.
Bored to Death.
Bored to Death.
Yeah,
really,
that's
really
amazing.
Good.
Yeah.
Really good little scene. I think it got like 2 seasons before it cancelled.
Yeah.
Superb. He was great in that. He had that flop political congressman one with Will Ferrell, the candidate or something. Campaign, that was it.
I've never seen it, yeah.
Not funny at all, like really, really. That feels like Saturday Night Live sketch show stretched out once again. But he's not really done much else, which I find quite strange, because I think he's very good. When he's good, he's very good, because Alan's great.
I wonder if there's just too many other. It's a crowded field, isn't it, of that kind of man-child energy, that angry, like quick-tempered. But speaking of Ferrell, like he's got that down pat, hasn't he? And I don't know, it's a crowded field of other people. That's a bit Jack Black as well, isn't it? And where does he fit in that field? Like, doesn't quite have enough to make him stand out, does he? Sorry,
comedy isn't a thing anymore. Like, it isn't a box office draw anymore, is it? Like this was made for streaming, but I can't remember off the top of my head the last time I went to watch a comedy screening or Joe Public, and it was like a rip-roaring success. I can't remember. So the fact that it's even got made, I mean, I wouldn't have to say it, but fair play to Netflix. But comedians just can't make a living doing that anymore.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So at this point, we were probably certainly over a third, maybe coming up towards halfway through the movie. This is where we get the Chrissy Teigen stuff you were talking about. Right. This is some of the scripted stuff. They meet in a bar.
Is that the bar because there's a bar where Phoebe Bridgers is playing with one of the guys from The National? Is that the same bar?
Yeah, it might be, yeah.
Which are another couple of cheeky cameos that were...
Yeah, I didn't even include those here. Oh no, that's later on. I have got that.
Oh, that is later on. Okay.
Yeah, it's later on. Because there's another one as well that I don't think I remember to write down. But yeah, Chris Teigen here is. I can't think at this point. Has he revealed? Not yet. I don't think he revealed that he's doing this on his own dime.
No.
He's pretended that there's kind of money they're backing from Ferrell and the Funny or Die company. But he's goaded, isn't he, by Carol to go and speak to Chris Teigen to try and get a quick interview out of her. But it takes a bit of a turn.
Yeah.
As you said, the plot of the box.
Plot of the box, brilliant. Which is, if nobody's seen the box, would I recommend? I'd recommend watching the first 20 minutes. Have you watched it?
Yeah, I think that was the one I saw at a screening. Yeah,
I think I saw it at a screening as well. Great concept. But
that's Donnie Darko. That's Richard Kelly, isn't it?
Yeah, Richard Kelly, who Donnie Darko, Southland Tales, which I'll defend to this day, 4 stars.
Yeah, I did a podcast on that, doing exactly that, reading the comics and the film and defending that. Yeah.
Was that the director's cut you watched?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to listen to that. What series was that?
That was on Comics in Motion.
Okay, cool. You'll have to send me a link to that. I'll be interested to revisit that because I do like it.
And then the box, isn't it? And
yeah, but I love the concepts of the boxes. You push a button and you'll get whatever you wish for, but somewhere somebody else will die.
Yeah.
And Chrissy Teigen says that's how she's got her fame.
Yeah.
And then one thing leads to another, and they end up sleeping together. And if anyone doesn't know, Chrissy Teigen is John Legend's partner.
Yeah.
And that's
which is mentioned, isn't it, in the conversation? She's like, "Oh, it's fine. Like what he doesn't know won't hurt him," kind of thing, isn't it?
Well, I think Lauren Lapkus says it before, doesn't she? Before she sends him up, didn't she say that's John Legend?
Yeah. But I mean, like when she's clearly flirting with him, he's like, "Well, but aren't you married to John Legend?" Chrissy Teigen's answer is kind of like, "Oh, it's fine. Like he's busy. He's off doing whatever he's doing musically, and he won't know. So let's just have some fun." Until, of course, the very next interview, the next day, is John Legend. We spoke about some of the intros. I don't know if you remember his with the title intros.
What is it? Go on.
His is Michael Bublé impersonator. It's just so good.
Really good. His interview, I like the question about La La Land making jazz accessible for white people. Very good.
For white people to explain jazz to black people.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, very good. Yeah,
I did like that. The rest of it all just felt very forced and stuff. I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's performative, isn't it? Because he has to escalate a confrontation because then he pepper sprays Zach in the face, doesn't he? So that has a goal that it has to get to, doesn't it?
Yeah. It feels like one of the very few interviews where it feels just it's part of the narrative of the movie, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
I don't think we mentioned it earlier that it was one that was integral to the plot. If loosest term of the word, but that one is.
Yeah, absolutely has to be, doesn't it? Because then it might be around here then, which is where because we're starting to get that ebb down of the arc of the story of where like things are starting to go wrong, and we soon learn that. I think it's the hotel bill the next day is that he's from the mini bar and he's rented porn movies, and so it's cost him loads of money. So
I think that's just done for the gag because the cameraman keeps saying, "Oh, you watched it 14 times."
Yeah.
So I think the first time you realise he's run out of money is when they go to the diner, isn't it? And the guy from who's another cameo, the guy from the Netflix TV series, is it called Love?
Oh yeah.
With Britta from
Community.
From
I can't
Community.
Her name is at the moment. Yeah.
I can't either. But she's great because she also voices a character in Invincible, which I've just started watching and I love. Have you been watching that?
I've seen the first couple of seasons, but I've read all the comics, so I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's where you and everyone else gets the hint that he's lying about the money because he's telling them that they can only have tap water and they're going to order one thing to share between.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then you get what I think is another of the great interviews. You get John Hamm.
Okay. Yeah.
And he doesn't get a particularly strong. I think it's just it's like Ham with one M or something. But the conversation there is all about how he's opened up the door for handsome, hot idiots to get roles in Hollywood. And he, again, when you see that in the outtake version, he just absolutely creases up it.
Yeah.
But in the movie version, it's funny for us just watching how he's trying to deal with that moment.
But you're right. Ham is another one who seems like he's part of the joke and he likes it, and he's. I can't remember how he actually reacts to the movie, but that worked for me because it's genuinely funny. And I think with things like that, I think overall the movie, whether it was intentional or not, I think it does a lot for. It's kind of positive in having something to say about the state of like interviewing, especially like in film and media, like not digging out influencers, but people who get the opportunity to ask people questions and the inane things that they ask them, like the offensive things or the uninformed things they ask them. Because off the top of my head, I can't remember, but I remember like the Fantastic Four interviews when that was going to come out, and just some of the stuff they were asking Pedro Pascal and who played excuse my comic ignorance, but who played Sue Storm.
Oh, it's the British actress, isn't it?
Yeah, she's excellent as well.
She is in that film. She's excellent in everything. She's
the heart of that movie, isn't she? But like, there was a couple of interviews going around then where you've got the opportunity to ask her something, and you've just come up with the most asinine, pointless, borderline offensive thing. So I just wonder if this is kind of a commentary on that. Yeah,
and if it is, like, you've done a great job reaching to help it get there, because I don't think it does enough by itself. But I think that's interesting that I'd quite like to watch it again with that in my mind and to see if that tracks all the way through.
But I think it's because it's not necessarily that, because he's asking what he wants. He's kind of doing it because he's not like asking fluff questions. He's kind of using his time to ask pointed questions. They're offensive, sure. But I just read that as something, and it probably isn't. It probably wasn't the intention at the time. But like the amount of stuff I watch online now, like with all the questions and things. I mean, I couldn't do a better job, but I'm like, come on, just try harder.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, I'm sure you could do a better job, but we'll say, because if you were afforded that position, you would be trying. You'd be thinking about what are the more interesting, open, challenging questions to ask these people. I guess they get vetted, don't they? I don't know how much.
I guess they're vetted by how many clicks they get, or
I think there's so many. Yeah, I think they're vetted by the people who, like agents who control the interviews, aren't they? But then also there's the issue of like the person asking the questions. All they care about is getting clicks. Yeah, exactly. But the John Hamm one's pretty decent. We agreed. Vanessa Kirby is the actress.
Vanessa Kirby, there you go. Cool.
Yeah, she's amazing in everything, actually. And then we get, again, this next section is probably pretty quick as well. We get through these quite quickly because it's that sense of like, oh, come on, we've got to get the film going, but also we've got to get these interviews quickly now because time's against us. We've got a couple of days left. So we get H. Lee Steinfeld, Haley Stein, I can't even say her name properly now. Haley Steinfeld, where he talks to her about like, do people care about the movies you're in? Like, again, he likes this Bumblebee's rubbish. Bumblebee's amazing.
Yes, that got my back up, obviously, because of my love for Travis Knight. I've seen He-Man as well. Master of the Universe.
Nice.
Pretty good. Bit like the first Thor film. If you like the first Thor film.
Yeah, it's good fun.
When he said that, I love Bumblebee.
Yeah, Bumblebee's excellent.
And I was like, Zach, that's the most offensive thing you've said in the entire movie. And it seemed like a weak attack. It was kind of like...
Yeah, he didn't have any material. Yeah.
Nobody thought that about Bumblebee.
It's true. Yeah. And then he moves on to One Direction. It's like, which one were you dating? This one, this one, this one.
I didn't even know she dated one of them.
Neither did I, so that went over my head too. Then we get Auckerman, who is a crazy rich Asian. She get massively offensive and kind of brave to put that in there in the brackets, but he goes for it. And he talks about how she's famous for raping, which she corrects. And then talks to her about Ocean's 8, because she's just been in Ocean's 8. She's saying it'd be really good if we got a male version of this.
Like it. I do like that.
That's pretty decent. It's just like, we've had a few of those already.
I do like Awkwafina as well. I think she's
she comes across really well, I think. Followed by Tiffany Haddish. So again, I don't know a lot of her stuff. I was surprised to see she's been in 38 movies.
Whoa.
Because obviously I know she started as a stand-up, right?
Because is that the joke about living in your car?
Yeah, it starts there.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know what else I've seen her in. I remember her from like the Lego Movie, I think, or the Lego Movie 2.
think she does a lot of voice work, doesn't she? Yeah.
Yeah. And the things I've seen her in, I think she's quite funny. But yeah,
the big joke for him there. You're right. It starts with a car, then he talks about how do you hate being labelled as a female comedian? She's like, yeah, it's a bit annoying. Like, and he's like, well, how about we label you as a female black comedian then? Again, like, he's pushing some buttons, but it's not done with enough of the kind of that. This is the Borat stuff, right? I think this is where they think they're being Borat, but they're not. But the people they're quote unquote catching out aren't bad people, and that's what works in Borat. Is that when he catches people out being racist or homophobic or just generally horrible human beings, they deserve to be called out for that. Whereas here, it's just kind of a cheap shot that doesn't go anywhere because she's in on the joke anyway, and she does none of those things.
Borat works because and Ali G to a certain extent because the people are stupid and uninformed, and clearly in order to he's interviewing people that he knows, so he's not gonna offend them. I'm sure he's gonna. Apart from somebody like Rudd, who he might have a close relationship, someone like Ham who can take the joke, and I'm sure Haddish, I don't know her stand-up material, but I'm sure she pushes the boundaries and stuff, so she could probably take it. But it's all very kind of soft, isn't it?
Yeah, safe.
Yeah, very, 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 very safe. In a time when, like, this is pre-cancel culture, so you can imagine that you could have got away with it a little bit more.
I think so. Yeah.
So that is a bit of a soft one. Another filler interview.
Yeah, I think so too. Horrible to say, but maybe a bit of a box tick. It's like the fact that she is black and female. Let's get her in there. Like, let's get Awkwafina in there because she's female and she's Do you know what I mean? Like, although he then also makes a bit of a joke about it, it almost feels a little bit like we've had a lot of white guys, so let's get some other people being represented here.
Yeah, maybe. And
maybe that's cynical of me to say, I don't know. Then we get the Phoebe Bridgers, who I don't know, but then we get that cameo of her singing in the bar. You're right. And then we get another good one. We get Benadryl Cumberbatch.
Now,
go on.
This for me is the weakest one.
Okay, all right, interesting.
Simply because he, at being able to pronounce Benedict Cumberbatch's name, and constantly getting it wrong. I just did not find that funny, and they really beat that joke to death. And there's better jokes because he jokes about his looks.
Yeah,
which I thought nice one Cumberbatch. That's cool. And he jokes about his accent.
Yeah.
Though that stuff's really good, but then they keep doing the joke, and I think even what did you say the on-screen title was?
Benadryl Cumberbatch.
But they go and then I think other characters make reference to not being able to say his name as well, and I just thought that's
true. Yeah, and the script kind stuff.
That I just didn't. I thought that was really lazy.
It's like the M. Night Shyamalan stuff, isn't it? That you see a lot as well. That I do. Yeah, that's true. I guess it starts with often these start with like a whispered conversation as the camera starts rolling. And here I liked it. When he says to him, like, "Oh, why do you think Martin Freeman is the only good actor in Black Panther?" And he's like, "I didn't say." Like, obviously, totally. Actually, it feels like that is a really cool Cumberbatch off guard.
Yeah, I like that.
But then maybe I'm conflating again, because when you see those two in the outtakes at the end, and he totally goes at the joke about his looks, is hilarious because Cumberbatch just cannot contain it.
Yeah, he gets it as well. He gets it as well. I like it, and he's not one you'd ordinarily earmark as doing that kind of stuff. But look, the gags about the name kind of override the fact that the actual interview between them two is one of the stronger ones.
Yeah, but no, I think your comments are totally fair. That it's just, as you said, going for the cheapest, easiest joke again, isn't it? And that being the filler, that's the kind of the bulk of what we actually get to see in the movie version. Yeah,
that's the thing with the whole movie. It all feels very one take. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like they've done a load and put the best bits in. It just feels like they've done one and gone, that'll do. Go with that. That's fine. That'll make somebody laugh. And I'm sure some people will find the fact they can't say Benedict Cumberbatch funny, but it's like, okay, just do it once and then move on. It's like an 88-minute movie.
Yeah, and interesting considering the next one, which is Tesla Thompson, which is what done once, and then they move on.
Yeah. She's good, though. I like her.
Yeah, it goes well. That's another one where he kind of starts talking about the male-female hypocrisy, but she's kind of up for the joke. She's up for she's still kind of up and coming at this point, isn't she? I know she's been in the Crees and stuff, and she's been in maybe Thor Ragnarok, but she's not the Tessa Thompson that we have 7 years later.
I feel like she's never really watched it either. I feel like she's probably just sat down and gone with it and kind of doesn't really get it, but goes along with it, kind of has a giggle with it. I like that one. That's one of the interviews that actually feels natural.
Yeah. You're right. When I think back to the original show and you get Steve Carell, who's very much like he came in totally prepped and came in like on the offensive from the original run. Here, this feels very much like one of the first episodes where it's like, oh, that's what this is going to be. Okay, now I've got to quickly catch up and get on board, and can I react in the way that he requires? Yeah, it's true. It feels a bit more organic, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think that would have benefited the movie if it had felt a little bit more organic. I'd have liked. They probably didn't have the access to the people that they would have liked to have done, but it would have been nice if he'd have met some of the people before he was going to interview them. Yeah. It would have been nice if I was doing it, I'd have had some scenes where he maybe door stopped people that he wanted to get an interview with, and they were kind of like, no, not you. I've seen your thing. That kind of thing. Just have a bit more either side of the interview. That's what I might have done.
No, it's interesting. And when you look at some of the people, and when you look at obviously Tessa Thompson, Cumberbatch, like Rudd, Brie Larson, it feels very much like, oh, these people are trendy right now because they're in the Marvel movies. Yeah. So it does feel a little bit of like they're trying to get that audience, doesn't it, as well? Because then we get Dinklage, who again in Marvel movie and X-Men movies, and this bit is not good. I feel sorry for Peter Dinklage because he's a great actor and he is funny and he is dramatic, but the stuff he's asked to do in his section where there's some performative stuff about stealing his Fabergé eggs and he's meant to be showing off all the stuff he's got in his fancy like Hollywood apartment, just or Hollywood mansion, just doesn't work for me. I don't know about you.
No, it didn't work for me. It didn't work for me at all for that very same reason. But Dinklage, he's another actor who's happy to kind of send himself up a little bit and play the fool. He's kind of happy to do that. He does like doing comedies. He's been in a lot, but I do think he's better than what. If you've got Dinklage for like out of the Between Two Ferns setup, like this is one of the rare ones where it is outside of that interview situation. Get him to do something else.
Yeah. And this is the kind of culmination of the movie as well. This is supposed to be like the big ending. So like they're totally out of money here, but they've got to get this final interview with Dinklage and get it to the studio. So the only way they can do that is by stealing something he's got, like hocking it, pawning it, and then getting the money for the petrol to make the final leg of the journey, isn't it? And it's all just all a bit obvious and a bit silly, and the way that they set this up to try and steal the things, none of it works. None of it just feels like has got any kind of genuine. Again, I think I'm going to repeat you back itself. It feels like almost like, although this is scripted and set up, it feels one take. It feels like, oh, this is the first thing we come up with. Let's just go with that.
Exactly. Like how are we going to finish this thing? Oh, I know. Why don't we do? Or feels. Yeah. It just feels a little bit Muppet movie to me, and I love the Muppet movie, but
I did read that was kind of what filming was like. It was a little bit like, we're just going to film it all and then we'll just decide in the moment what we're going to do. And we've got this person today, so what do we want to do? And then they kind of built the movie around the footage they had.
I get that, but it's not like you need to rush to a release date. It's not like I'm texting somebody going, oh, when's Between Two Ferns the movie out? This was kind of a little throwaway gem that they kind of dumped online. Just take your time with it. Yeah. Nobody's going to care if this is out in another 6 months or not. And it means you've got to film different bookends or get a couple more quality interviews, something like that. I don't know. Yeah. It all feels like a waste, ultimately like a waste of time, like a missed opportunity, because this could have been done well, I guess.
Yeah. Well, considering, as we've said multiple times, and we're nearly getting sort of full circle to the end now anyway, like the best part of this movie is the last 3 to 5 minutes of outtakes.
Yes.
So you watch a 90-minute, deeply average movie, if not sort of a bit worse than that, to be perfectly honest, in order to see the best bit in the last 5 minutes, which you can just watch on YouTube anyway.
Yeah.
I can see why. I understand why they wanted to put a bit of a nail in it, and I guess they sort of felt like this was the way to finish it off. And we've spoken about the influences, and I think you've brought some others that make total sense. I guess if you're offered to do it, you're offered good money by Netflix to make something that it's a passion project for yours, why would you say no? But yeah, it doesn't feel like it's been done with a lot of.
Who was it written by? It's directed by Scott Auckerman, isn't it?
Yeah, and written by him and Galifianakis. Yeah,
and him and Galifianakis. Okay, it does like feel like, I don't know whether it was just sold to Netflix and financed by Funny or Die.
Yeah,
because I don't know how profitable Funny or Die is. Because I know Will Ferrell keeps doing the joke about all the clicks. That's why he wants it, because all the clicks make him money. But I seem to remember other things on Funny or Die that I watched. Did they do like the drunk history thing? Was that theirs?
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I didn't really watch much outside of this, if I'm honest.
So they must have been, and I don't know what their status is now.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, they must have been making a bucket load of cash from being one of those comedy platforms online. Because I remember I'd go to Funny or Die every other day just to see what the top video is, or just to watch the Landlord clips again. So.
Yeah, well, I went there to watch this, and it doesn't really exist anymore. So then I had to go and find them on YouTube through the Funny or Die channel on there. So, yeah, I don't think it exists in the way that it used to. I guess now they're probably some sort of production wing of making other people's stuff on TV or movies.
Yeah, but I don't know what else. It'd be interesting to see what else they've done apart from this. Do you know what the budget was for this as well?
No, it's not reported anywhere. There's no budget. Okay. Obviously, no box office because it was straight on Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. But it holds I think it's 72% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which I thought was bafflingly high. But then maybe it's because people just need a laugh, I guess. Right? Maybe people needed a laugh around about 2019, so it's bumped up. And I've got to admit, despite moaning and pouring like a bit of a critical eye over something like this, I did, I'm chuckling throughout this, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'm the same as you. I'd watched it once when it first came out, and then I've watched it in order to do this. And I think I came into it with rose-tinted glasses. It is much better in my memory than it was watching it with, as you said, the critical eye. Yeah. I also did go back and watched all the episodes of the original run-up before I watched the movie. And I think that just really cemented for me what you've already said towards the start, in that probably just having a new series of interviews would have been a much better idea. Just have a Netflix series of these where they release one a week or whatever they wanted to do.
Or they could have done like if they still wanted to do this road movie journey to network TV thing, then they could have they could have done maybe like, I don't know, another web series or something just to get to the point of him having his own network show, and then you could have just had a chat show like Zach Galifianakis interviewing celebrities for like 10 minutes here or there, Letterman style. That would have probably been quite funny, and I'm sure he could have done it.
Yeah, that's where this ends, isn't it? He does get his show. He gets Gal Gadot as his first interview subject.
Ooh, that wouldn't be the choice now, would it?
No, definitely not. But again, trendy at the time, Wonder Woman and the DCEU and all that kind of stuff. And then the film just sort of blops to an end, doesn't it? As in, he wants to go back to what he had before. Again, as you said, very Wayne's World. We were better off where we were before public access TV than we were with the money and the company behind us. Nice message, kind of sweet ending. But ultimately, you're asking us to invest in a story that amounts to nothing at the end.
Nothing, yeah.
Which is always difficult unless you've really enjoyed the journey on the way.
And you killed Matthew McConaughey, you bastards.
Yeah, exactly.
Unforgivable.
I mean, I think there's other fatal flaws in it as well. I mean, I think, it sets itself up as a mockumentary to begin with and then just totally abandons that partway through. Yeah. Like, it doesn't even bother trying towards the end of, like, kind of keeping up the pretense of that format, which I think is a shame. I think it was kind of working to begin with.
It pitches itself as a mockumentary as well, doesn't it? Like in all the synopsis and stuff. But by
it's
the
sort
end,
of a mockumentary, but also a fake mockumentary within the mockumentary. But all of that, gets kind of abandoned, doesn't it? Gone.
Because they kind of don't really do many like. Do they do many like talking head stuff with Galifianakis' character?
A little bit, but yeah, not a lot really.
But then that's gone, and by the end, it just feels like a little single camera sitcom, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, much more like that. And they suddenly bring it back at the end because they've remembered that was the conceit at the start, and you see the mockumentary film crew, and you find out it was a student film, not any kind of like broadcastable material. Again, fine, decent little jokes at the end of the movie, but you've already lost the format about an hour ago, so
yeah,
there's no point bringing it back now. So yeah, I don't know. I feel the same as you. I feel like we've cast quite a critical eye on this, but it's passable. But is that what you want to spend your time watching?
Like I think you've already said before, if I watched, say how many of the interviews are there in this film? Maybe 10, probably not even that, like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
If I watched them on YouTube, I'd probably watch 4 of them in their entirety, skip through the rest, and I would have taken as much from that as I have from sitting through this film a couple of times now. And that is nothing against it, because like you said and I said, I think I did enjoy it as a distraction when I first watched it, and when I came out of it, I was like, oh, that was better than it had any right to be. It was actually all right. But whether I'd recommend it or not now, imagine somebody who's never seen this before and they don't get the concept and they don't know the characters, because I know a lot of these are still around. No, I guess they are still big people that he talks to, doesn't he? But I don't know whether they're still relevant.
Yeah, and they're not big comedy people, and I think that's part of the joke I get, but also is part of the issue, isn't it? So I don't know. Yeah,
but
I mean,
Bruce Willis, he's in it, is he?
He's in the original run. Yeah.
But does he pop up in the movie? Is there a clip of him in the movie? He's not in there at all. Okay, but characters like him, like personalities like him, God bless him, he is abrasive. And it would have been brilliant to see Zach, without Willis knowing, go in on him, obviously prior to illness and stuff. And there are characters like that you could get Galifianakis to interview and kind of push the boundaries a little bit just to see how they react. But like we said about everyone else, it is all just a little bit safe.
A little bit safe and a little bit trendy. And I think you bring up Bruce Willis is a great point. You look at the people who he had on that original run, and they are people who have been around for a long time and will continue to be around for a long time. I mean, like Ben Stiller, Steve Carell, Sean Penn, Bruce Willis, Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt.
The Brad Pitt one's good as well, I think.
The Brad Pitt one is great. The joke in that about how did it feel when you first saw Angelina Jolie? Was it like when Ross saw Rachel and Friends? Pitt's face is generally like, fuck, I don't know what to do with this. It's so good. I think it's probably my favourite joke in the original run, that or Portman, about when he says, in V for Vendetta, you shaved your head. Did you also shave your V for vagina? It's so good because again, she looks at him and was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do with this joke.
But more of that in the movie.
More of that movie. And I just think the caliber of guest is fine, but the caliber of guest is not up to the standard of what came before, probably.
But you've hit the nail on the head. The caliber of the it's not me trying to say Cumberbatch. The caliber of the guests, it feels like a junket.
It does.
It feels like Galifianakis has been told, okay, the cast of Avengers Assemble are all going to be at the Dorchester. Get down there, film half your movie. And that's not taking anything away from them because, half of them are pretty decent. But it's kind of like you want some heavyweights. Imagine if you got your Tom Cruise in. Yeah. Or like you got your Brad Pitt in, or get Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't have a clue what was going on. Or get somebody with a bit more I don't know, get Sigourney Weaver in or something like that. It all
these names. Imagine like a Tom Hanks or a Denzel, or just like proper big hitters, but like big names where you could actually get them really out of their comfort zone and really trying to provoke something fun and reactive from that you wouldn't normally get to see. It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And sometimes you can do that though. You see like Cruise sometimes sending himself up, don't you? He did it with Stiller for Mission Impossible 2. Do you remember that promo?
Yeah, absolutely.
So they will do it, but I guess they didn't really aim that high.
No, and I think that's a fair criticism to be made. I think between us, we've absolutely, like as you said, nailed what the issue is here. It's that this was who was available in a short space of time that they were filming it, and you got a couple of run-throughs, then they've got to go because they're off to do the bit for Endgame or their bit for Captain Marvel, or is they're busy doing.
Yeah,
it's a shame because I think there was more promise than what we got. It's decent enough, but I think your time is probably better spent. I mean, you can watch. Let's have a look. You can watch the full interviews of Letterman, Rudd, Awkwafina, Cumberbatch, Larson, Keanu Reeves, Haley Steinfeld, and Adam Scott. Anyway, they've all been released as full kind of interviews. Plus, you can watch the outtakes, and of course, you can watch the original series. So, I think that is a better use of your time than this movie.
Or go back and watch something similar that's got something to say, like Borat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the original run of Ali G, because like you've already... Sacha Baron Cohen was so smart in just highlighting topical issues and making it so funny. And this feels like a missed opportunity to do something like that. It might not... I mean, celebrities might not be the way to go for that. But then, okay, if that's the case, why didn't he then... Galifianakis could have done like politicians. He could have tried to get Trump. He could have maybe tried to have got some, like, I know this like maybe predates the end of this, but now imagine if he tried to get some of those toxic influencers and just used his smarts, because he's clearly a clever guy, to get them, tie themselves up in knots like, you know, Louis Theroux does, like Sacha Baron Cohen did. So, you know, the people he chooses and the way he approaches it, nothing wrong with it, but it's all very vanilla and all very powder puff, and it could have been something a little bit more, but that maybe there's a time and a place for that.
Yeah, it's just something. It's a bit backslappy, isn't it? It's a bit like, let's just all have fun together, us mates. But I think that can come off, and that can be successful. But here, I think what a great choice of words there. I think vanilla is the only way to describe this. It's safe. It's vanilla. It's fine, but we probably wanted something that tested us and tested the people that have been interviewed a bit more. Because you could have done it, like you see in between two ferns on the internet, like they used to do it with celebrities. Now let's see it with, as you said, politicians, or with even just Joe Public. Do you know what I mean? Which is what Ali G and Borat used to do.
Yeah, go out and talk to like the people on the streets. Like, what's that guy that does it? Is like in Billy Eichner when he goes out and does his thing with a microphone. It's very funny. It's very in your face. Sometimes it's serious. Like do something like that. You've been afforded this platform. Like, not saying make a difference, but do something that like is uncomfortable and is funny. Like comedy and not just politics, but comedy and like discussion and controversy. They go hand in hand. They always have. So missed opportunity. You know, comedy can be broad, like you said with the Will Ferrell thing. It can be political. Ultimately, it's got to be funny, and this is only intermittently funny.
Agreed. Yeah. Good place to leave it. So McConaughey's probably in this for about 4 minutes. I'm guessing that might not make this a classic in his filmography, but is it worth catching these moments with him? Or
his ones, definitely. Just because it adds to what you already know about him, I think, as a person and an actor. Yeah. Just he's affable, he's funny. The outtakes more like it is with everyone, but it's well worth watching for him. You know, you're not going to be disappointed. Yeah, but watch the whole movie or just catch his stuff on YouTube? Just his stuff on YouTube. No point in watching the whole movie. No. Yeah, fair. All right. What else can we talk about? Anything you want to promote? Anything that is going on in your world that's interesting and exciting? Nah, nothing, mate. It's the summer. I'm just, hiding from the heat and hiding in multiplexes. I'm not really doing much but watching movies, writing about them, nothing else. And where can people find your lovely writing? You what? Where can people find your lovely writing? Oh, if they go to Flickering Myth, then that's usually where I'll post everything. I'll like news stories, film trailers, the odd review of stuff. That's where it'll always be. And they need to search for what? Your handle? What? No, yeah, of course. I'm really good at this, aren't I? No wonder I've been a failure. Oh, Mainstream Matt. Just look for Mainstream Matt on the health site that is X, formerly known as Twitter. Instagram, but I very rarely use that because I'm too old to understand what it is. Maybe I'll start a
post and
TikTok.
run away quickly.
Have you got a TikTok?
Oh, no, I haven't.
No.
That's beyond me.
Yeah, me too. That's where I draw the line. But maybe that's where we need to
teenagers
go
go to do
next.
dance moves, isn't it? That's all I see
Well,
them doing around my
dance.
Yeah. Brilliant, mate. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, enjoyed it. Cheers, mate.
So it appears the choice is clear. Between two Ferns or YouTube, Matt chooses the quick format latter, and I can't say that I disagree. My thanks to him for taking the time to revisit this flawed effort and to discuss all the interviews contained therein. Of course, I also extend my thanks to you two listeners for your continued support, engagement, and participation as we journey through the McConaissance. That is episode 49. Whew, final stretch, only 5 to go. Next up in a fortnight, I'm going to be joined by Matt to discuss Eminem as Michael Pearson in Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman, for those that are watching along. Until next time, be excellent to each other and make sure you take the time to treat yourself too. I am Jack signing off. Yippee-ki-yay, movie lovers.
You just gotta keep living, man. Livin.
Cut.